is Trevor, and it's my pleasure today to introduce you to TOBY, the TLP mobility application for truck drivers. Upon logging in at the beginning of his shift, a driver will be given a list of the jobs that he is to perform during that day or during that shift. By clicking on a job, he will get two options. One is to go into the job in detail through the run sheet. The other is to view the pre-check list. The pre-check list is set up against drivers against items in the main system and will be logged against those items when the shift is started. We can see in this instance that a number of the items have already been checked and are in fact okay. The clean windscreen item did not get a marked okay, and we can click in and see why that is. And we can see that the driver's recorded that there's a big crack in the middle of the screen. So this obviously requires fixing and can be recorded as such. That will result in a defect being recorded against that item on the workshop system, and the workshop manager will be informed that that has happened. Using the run sheet option to see job details, we can come in and see header level details straight away, and we see down here a list of jobs that are to be done against that run or movement. You can have multiple jobs within a movement, so you can be going from A to B with 3 jobs that you have picked up to follow that route. In this instance, we have job 3413. Drilling into that job, we're now given the option of accepting or declining that job. This is what we call the workflow, and it's the first action of workflow that the driver has to handle. The workflow is defined by you, and it's dependent on the type of work you're carrying out, what the various stages will be. In this stage, we have to have the driver accept the job, and that will mark the fact that he has accepted it and what date and time that he has accepted it. Now let's look at some of the other data and information that we have against the job. We have full address information. While we have a brief address there on the one line, we can drill down and get the full address displayed and so on. Any instructions relating to the address showing us there as well. Delivery address the same. The pallets over here, the 6 indicates there are 6 CHEP or Loscam pallets on that item or any other items of equipment. So here you'll see that the record for that is marked, that we have collected and loaded. It will want us to indicate when we've delivered those to the client and when we've picked up empty CHEP pallets for the return. That's updating a CHEP pallet management system back in TLP. We have various references that have come through. You can define what references or data that you want conveyed to the truck driver, and you can also mark that you wish him to fill in data and come back. For example, that it may be mandatory that the driver fills in a consignment note number or a docket number, and you can determine that. The detect text option enables the driver to take a photo of an item and have the text of that item recorded. For example, you could take a photo of a container and we can pick up the container number and record that against the job. We have the items. This is the items entered in against the job. They can be just accepted as they are, but if there's any change, he can note that. So if, for example, instead of 2 tonnes, there was 3 tonnes, he can mark that against the job, and that will update back in our main job. The documents there, we can send details of consignment notes, maps, dangerous goods documentation, whatever. We can send that through to the truck. In this example here, we've got a brief little consignment note that we've sent to the truck. Extras is for surcharges, things like handling fees, Saturday deliveries, hand handling, and so on, can be recorded in tick box fashion and used for charging at a later stage. But as the driver proceeds through the task, it is just a matter of him recording various stages of workflow when he's done things. So when he's on the collect site, he ticks that he's on the collect site, and that's all he has to do. Once again, when he goes off the collect site, he ticks it, and that's all that has to happen. Now, you can do more than that within the site. So, for example, you may have an arrangement whereby all collections or deliveries will take no more than half an hour, else you can charge more, in which case you could have a on-collect site charging collection over time, then off-collect site, and we can pick up multiple statuses, work out the duration, and feed that through to charging. We can also send notifications to the customer or customer people about what's happened here. So we can send a notification saying we're now off collect site, for example. Likewise, on delivery site, we could be letting the customer know that that's reached its delivery point. It's a straightforward operation. We can also pin obvious things that we will require, like a proof of delivery, and get a sign-on glass signature. Yeah, bill, and we can save that. So that's the process from the driver's point of view. Let's have a little pause and we'll see what it looks like back at the operations area. Back at operations, the first thing they'll notice is job number 3413 has now gone a shade of orange. This is a color that we have set up here to show that a job has been completed, whereas the green is an in progress state. By drilling into the job, we can see what other things have happened. Up the top here, what we see is the trip status has now been set to completed. The mobility status says it was a direct movement and is now off delivery site. So we know exactly what's happened, where that job is at, and so do our clients over the web portal. We look down here, we see there's a weight of 3 tons against that job. That was recorded from the change that we input. So that has now been recorded and priced accordingly as the jobs are re-rated every time they are saved. We see our chip pallet count down here of 6. On the proof of delivery side, we see that we have now been ticked as received and that we received a signature, and we've got our date and time stamp for that. If we want to have a look at our POD, we can view or print the POD. So this produces a PDF, and this could be emailed off to your clients automatically if you wish. So this is a basic, this format is a basic consignment note of what that job was. And down here, we've imposed a bill signature, the date and time stamp. In the history of the job over here, we can see exactly what's happened and when. Over here in the collection time, we had our estimated time of collection and our actual date and time. The same for delivery, estimated time of delivery, actual date and time of delivery. This is the basis for DIFOT reporting that can now be produced automatically, easily out of the system. Down here, we have a record of all the various status changes, when they happened, who was the driver, and so on. So we have a complete history of the job and process. And that's basically it. That's a small introduction through to TOBY and how it integrates in with the main TLP system. If you want to see more, please contact us.